Kubrat Pulev versus Tony Thompson is going down August 24th for the IBF International Heavyweight title. This is a good fight. For those who don't know, Kubrat Pulev is an undefeated heavyweight prospect from Bulgaria. He's orthodox fighter. He stands around 6'4", 6'4.5". His best punch is his left jab. He was a very experienced amateur for his country, Bulgaria. He had over 200 amateur fights. He won the vast majority of them. In the past, he sparred a lot with, many of the best heavyweights around and other prospects. He sparred with David Price, and he used to get the better of David Price in sparring, apparently. He's European champion, or at least he was up until this point. I haven't heard whether or not he's going to relinquish his European championship. I believe he might have to take on Tony Thompson. I believe he will have to actually relinquish his European title. But if anyone knows anything more concrete on that, just leave it in the comment section below. So yeah, he's European champion, but he's coming off a long period of inactivity. His last fight was, I believe, nearly a year ago when he fought and stopped the then undefeated Alexander Ustinov. So since then he's been out the ring because he hasn't been able to find an opponent willing to face him. There's been all types of potential clashes, mooted for Pulev, but no one has seemed to be willing to go over there and actually fight the guy in Germany. So finally, Tony Thompson has stepped up to the plate and agreed to, take on Kubrat Pulev. Obviously, Thompson is coming off 2 good wins against David Price, 2 stoppage wins. He looked good, especially in the second fight. Apart from the knockdown, he looked very good in the second fight. Probably as good as I've ever seen him, which is surprising for a 40 or 41-year-old man. Obviously, Thompson is around the same kind of height as Pulev. He's about, I believe he's 6'5". So he's only like an inch or half an inch taller than Pulev. So they're around the same size and same height. Thompson is quite a good combination puncher. All right, he's not incredibly fast or anything like that, but he's quite technically sound. And he's quite a good combination puncher. All right. And in his last fight against David Price, he did show to me improved hand speed and movement. He said that he's been struggling with a knee injury for a long time and that it hindered both his performances against Vladimir Klitschko. And there may be some truth to that. There may be some truth to that because, like I said, the way he was moving in the Price rematch, I've never seen him move that well before, on his feet. So it'd be interesting to see if he can come in with that type of movement here against Kubrat Pulev. Now, the question I have to ask about Pulev, 2 questions. One, how does he deal with southpaws? Because I've never seen Pulev fight a southpaw, and that can be a game changer right there. Whether or not a fighter can deal with southpaws effectively or not. I've never seen Pulev in with a southpaw, so I really don't know. That's an unknown for me. Number 2 is, how is the layoff going to affect Kubrat Pulev? He's been there for a long time. I believe this is the longest period of inactivity in his career. So, how are those things going to affect Kubrat Pulev? I just don't know. What I will say is this. Even if Pulev is rusty, even if he does struggle with a southpaw, I don't see him going out the way David Price went out. I don't see it. I think Kubrat Pulev is a better boxer than David Price. I think he's smarter. I think he's a bit lighter on his feet. I think he's got a better jab. Although against southpaws, it can be very hard to land your own jab. All right, because the lead hands often clash. So you're both trying to angle for the jab. And given the fact that Kubrat Pulev's best punch is his jab, you anticipate some problems here against Tony Thompson. But like I say, I've never seen Pulev against a southpaw. Maybe he does different things against southpaws, which I don't know about. So like I say, I'm kind of taking a shot in the dark right here now. So yeah, he's, Pulev's best punch is his left jab. And against a southpaw, that could be neutralized. So he's going to need more of a right hand in this fight. He's going to need to play chess a bit more as well. And Pulev can play chess. He is quite a good chess player. In all the fights I've seen of him, he's very patient. He can play chess. Defensively, Pulev he's not bad, but he's not great either. He does get clipped here and there. He was slightly rocked against Ustinov and Dimitrenko, but nothing serious. Nothing serious. He never looked on the brink of going down or anything like that as a professional in any of the fights that I've seen him. And his power, he has okay power, Kubrat Pulev. He's a heavyweight at the end of the day. Weighs like, 245, 250. So, if he catches you clean on the chin, it ain't going to tickle. Right? Pulev is quite athletic. He bounces around quite nicely on his feet. Does make a few mistakes. All right? Stylistically, he reminds me a little bit of Vitaly Klitschko. He fights with his hands quite low, his left hand dangling down, and his chin up in the air. You know, that's how Vitaly Klitschko fights. But he's not quite as tall as Vitaly Klitschko. I don't think he has the punch variety of Vitaly Klitschko either. Although I will say I think he's got a better jab than Klitschko, and I think at this stage he's got better foot speed than Vitaly Klitschko. All right, he moves in and out of range very, very well. Kubrat Pulev. He likes to play with the range and he likes to mess you around. You know, a lot of these bigger heavyweights, they don't move as well as Pulev, and Pulev will bounce around and he'll draw your lead and then jump in with his jab. You know, he likes to mess around with the range a lot. That's one of his big things. But like I say, Tony Thompson in his previous fight showed, you know, pretty good movement himself. So this is an intriguing fight, man. It's a very intriguing fight. Like I say, I'm not really making a prediction right now until I've seen Pulev against some southpaws. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how, you know, Pulev deals with Thompson's style. It's gonna be interesting to see how, you know, how fresh he is and how sharp he is after a long period of inactivity. So we just don't know, man. But all I know is I'm interested to see the fight. It's happening on the 24th, so that's only a couple of weeks away. So yeah, it's going to be good. But like I say, I'm anticipating a bit of a chess match. I think the fight will go rounds. I think the fight will probably go the distance. I don't really see anyone getting stopped in this fight. I don't see Thompson getting stopped. I don't see Pulev getting stopped. I don't see Thompson getting stopped because, you know, Pulev does have a right hand, but his right hand has never seemed that impressive to me. It's a decent shot, but I wonder if Pulev himself is a converted southpaw, because he seems very left-hand dominant. Although he don't really throw many left hooks, he throws a very strong jab. I mean, the jab is, he puts literally all his weight behind it, and he knocks people off balance. He's actually stopped people with his jab on a couple occasions. All right, his jab is serious. So I'm wondering if he's actually a converted southpaw himself. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be a chess match. I don't see anyone getting stopped, because both guys are very savvy in there. Neither guy really hits that hard. I would say Thompson might hit a little bit harder. But you know, neither guy is really a devastating puncher. So you know, it's going to be interesting. But I would say probably it's going to go the distance. You know, whoever wins, I think it's going to go the distance. I don't think anyone's going to get demolished or anything like that. It's interesting. Vladimir Klitschko believes that Tony Thompson's going to win this fight. You know, he believes Thompson is very underrated and he believes Thompson's going to win it. And Kubrat Pulev kind of took offense to that. And he said, you know, Vladimir, I'm going to deal with you. I'm going to take care of Thompson, then I'm going to come and deal with you. The one thing I like about Kubrat Pulev, which I haven't really mentioned in this video, is his confidence. Kubrat Pulev is a very, very confident character. Very confident, has a lot of self-belief. Again, he was a very experienced amateur. So, you know, a lot of that confidence comes from his amateur background. He had over 200 amateur fights at the highest level. So he's very confident, man. And he's very confident of going in there against a Klitschko. You know, his plan is to take on Thompson, beat Thompson, and then fight Vladimir. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. But I'm looking forward to this one. Like I say, August 24th, so it's just a couple weeks away. Let me know how you feel about this fight. Leave your comments in the comment section below. This is Hatman. I'm out.